Well, hey, welcome back. Another cold episode of Twostallgarage. I'm Chris, and I'm working in my garage that is two stalls. Hence the name of what I changed the channel to. You probably forgot it, but I didn't. Anyways, today's video, we're going to kind of go over a couple things here. For those who don't know, last couple years, this guy, a few other people, we have made the long, fun adventures for Hotrodpowertour. And 2024 is going to be no exception. First year I went, 2021, we took Bert. That was fun. 22, 23, we took Bam Bam. Bam Bam is my 1995 Chevrolet Impala SS. Why did I take that over Bert? Well, Bert's got a big block 454, 9 miles to the gallon. Old Bam Bam here. It's got stock-ish LT1, 20 miles to the gallon, and it's got air conditioner. So, for those that are new to Hotrodpowertour, go do it. Go challenge yourself. You'll thank yourself that you went and challenged yourself that you did. Doesn't matter what you got. Register it. And, just enjoy it. Enjoy the challenge. Today's video, I'm going to go over some common questions that come up every year. You may or may not have been part of the face-to-face groups. If you are, the questions get asked every single year. So I'm going to cover them again. I did a video. I'll post it right here. And it's got a lot of the same stuff we're going to cover today, but some stuff that I've even learned since I posted that video. So let's get into it. So if you don't know, this year's Hotrodpowertour has been posted. It's end of January. It's posted towards the beginning of January, second week or so. 2024, we're going to be starting in Bowling Green, Kentucky, going down to Lebanon, Tennessee, just outside of Nashville. Then we're going to be going to the LNN Federal Credit Union Stadium, baseball diamond place in Louisville, Kentucky. From there, we're going to go to Columbus, Ohio. From Columbus, Ohio, cut over to Indianapolis, Indiana. It's 5 days, 5 stops. Pre-registration on Sunday before, runs through that week. And if you've never done it or have never experienced it or have thought about doing it and wanted to do it, go for it. Try it. It's a load of fun. So as I mentioned, it's 5 stops. And it's an endurance test. You pick your vehicle. Doesn't matter if it's modern muscle car, it's a classic muscle car. It's a 90s relic that is a survivor. People love them. Register it and go. And it's an endurance thing. So you drive from wherever the hell you live down to Bowling Green, Kentucky, for instance, this year. You go in, you have a big car show, you hang out with people, you look at cars, you make some friends, you go to hotels at night when it's done, you check out burnouts, you have some brewskis, malted beverages, and you enjoy it. You get up the next morning, you drive to the next stop. It's a big giant parade down the streets, takes off back roads, avoids highways. You get through the little routes, towns that you normally wouldn't drive on. So get to the next stop, do it all over again. Pull into wherever, have another big car show, hang out with your friends, go to the hotels, do it again. 5 days, 5 stops. It used to be 7 days, 7 stops. Since COVID, they decided to go 5. There's different packages you can do. You have platinum, gold, long hauler, and daily membership. So the platinum, you spend the dough. They set you up with your hotels. They set you up with all the fun stuff that you need to do already. Food provided every event or something like that. I don't know. I don't have platinum kind of money. Have you seen what I work on? Have you seen the shit boxes I drive? Yeah, I don't have platinum kind of money. So if you do, cool. Go for it. Next step is gold. Gold is you get lunch one day, you get shirts, you get souvenirs. I think is where this hat came from. I don't know. I don't remember. You get goodie bags, is what I'm saying. And you get better parking. So platinum parking is like up here, and then you get gold parking, which is like kind of towards the midway. Speaking of the midway, since I'm there, the midway's got all sorts of vendors like eBay and Continental and Edelbrock. They're all set up there. And then you can check their stuff out and check out all their merch and stuff and maybe buy some stuff. So getting back to the long haul package. Long haul package is just kind of your nosebleed. You're going to park out in the BFE. You go to all the tours and, all the spots. But you're in nosebleed parking, which is fine. But you're walking to get to the midway and check out all this cool stuff. Midway is going to have a bunch of YouTubers. Not me, because I'm not that cool. But you're going to have all that stuff up there too. But nosebleed parking for long haulers. You're making the trip, part of the adventure. You're making it happen. So at the end of any of those 3 packages that you do buy, if you see, you get these little plaques up here. Do you see them? You see them. So you get those little plaques up there. Everyone likes stickers. Well, those are metal plaques. So everyone likes metal plaques. They also have daily memberships where you can go one day. That's all you can go for time off, whatever. Go daily. It is what it is. Go check stuff out. So how do you register? Well, go check out Hotrodpowertour.com or just Google Power Tour 2024 and it will pop up. From there, there's a registration link. You click on it and you can pick whatever package you want to. Make sure you got your insurance for your vehicle. You got your tags, your license plate ready, and it's current. You're going to need that and your driver's license and a credit card to pay for stuff. And that's how you register. You do it through the website, just like you would do anything else. Once you do that, they send you a text message, send you email, and this is all your stuff. The route specifically isn't posted at this point. Don't worry. Calm down. Don't yell at me. They don't post it till like a month or so right before you go on Power Tour. And that's the fun of it. That's the beauty of it. That's the unknown, the excitement that you get to go, I don't know where the hell I'm going. We're not taking highways. We're taking backways. We're going to have certain checkpoints that they want you to go through, and it's like a Google map thing that they send to you. Everyone's got a phone now. You just plug it in, and it populates the stops and where you need to do. Big thing it will say on Google is you got to turn off your recalculating mode because it'll try to recalculate your quickest route. You don't want that. You want to take the actual route or just follow the cars like I do. So now you're registered, which I will say, by the way, gold package is already sold out for this year. It didn't take long. It only took 2 days. I'm not going gold this year. I just did long haul because I've done both, and long haul is what it is for me. Anyways, now that you're all registered, guess what? Now you got to pick out the things you need to do to your vehicle. This is my current plan A, if you will. Plan A, Bert. Bert is my 1974 GMC Suburban. I got people going, we want room, we want to have coolers. We'll get into that stuff later. This is my project. As you can see, I can't very much well drive it there as is. It needs a lot of work. That's okay, because that puts a deadline on for me, and it gets me motivated to actually work on my vehicle. So thank you, Hot Rod Power Tour, for that. But if I fall on my face, very well likely I could. I'm taking my Impala. I would take it this year just because, but it's my backup because I've taken it the last couple years. I want something different, okay? And yes, I took this the first year, but I'm gonna, as you can see, I'm making more work to it. So I'm doing stuff to it. So this is my plan A, if you will. Plan B. You know what my plan C is? Angus. If all else fails and everything falls on its face, I'm taking Angus. Angus is my 1981 C10. Oh, it's swapped. Go look at that video. Go check it out. Link right there. Anyways, so now that you got your vehicle picked out and you're starting to work on it, that's the fun. Go work on it. 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 If you get to the point of, uh-oh, I'm not going to get parts for this thing. I'm not going to have the time to do this. I'm not going to be able to get this done. Don't worry if you got a plan B. Or even if you got a plan XYZ. Don't worry about it. Do what you can. If you can't get it done, don't frantically power tour, email people and be like, what do I do? Don't go posting on the forums of, oh my gosh, plan A is broken. Now I got to move my plan C around and blah, 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 blah. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just don't worry. If you can't make it happen, bring what you can. As long as it's not a rental car, motorcycle, bring it. Drive it there. You register it. At the desk at day one thing, check in. You don't have to email in a frantic and change all your stuff out. Why? Because I was that guy. I was going to take the Impala year one, and I didn't because I had problems with it. So I ended up taking this. Well, I did the thing, and I emailed, and they just said, hey, dummy, just bring your registrations for this, and then your stuff, and then we'll take care of it when we get there. I had to change the modes here, A, because I want some coffee, and B, because I'm sick of holding the camera. Anyways, so now you got your vehicles figured out onto possibly what to take. I can't speak take. So now you got this ready to take. And you're registered. What about hotels? I don't know. What do you want to do? You can get hotels. You don't have to stay at all the hotels. You can go through right now and register all the hotels now that you're registered and you know where stops are. That's the biggest part of why Hot Rod releases what they do, so you can get a hotel booked. I've booked on the fly when I'm on my way to the next stop. I've booked 6 months in advance when the route's released, so I have a hotel room. Do what makes sense for you. Research the area. See what you like. If it's close to like Waffle Houses, do those. This year, I'm not doing anything till I know I'm on my way. So the week of. Can it come and bite me in the ass? Probably. Might I have to end up driving 20 minutes outside of Bowling Green, Kentucky to another town that's out of the way for whatever to get a cheaper hotel room that's got breakfast? Maybe. Does it bother me? Nope. Because that's all part of the adventure. And then I get to find out where all the cool hangout spots are for hotels afterwards. So your hotel situation, do at your discretion. Also, we might be trying something a little bit different too this year. There's guys that sleep in their rigs. They go to truck stops, shower, change, do whatever, then they don't have any hotel costs. There's a guy that had a pull behind camper last year. It was a 70s Caprice that had the weird thing on the top, and he just drove from stop to stop with that. I got a hitch. Maybe we'll pull a pop-up camera. I don't know. Okay? So, that's your hotel stuff. Figure it out. Figure it out now. Figure it out when you get there. Don't worry about it. Just do it. You'll be happy. You'll be fine that you did it. So, really quick with hotels. If you get into a pickle where you know that you're not going to be able to make Hot Rod Power Tour and you purchased your package, packages are non-refundable. Yeah. So give yourself an out when you book your hotels. If you book them now, make sure you got the cancellation fee 48 hours before to get your money back, or you just book them on the fly on the way. Some folks like to not be caught up in traffic on the early mornings, the day of Power Tour, and they'll book their hotels 20, 30 minutes away towards the next route just because then they can sleep in a little bit more. They don't have to get up at the butt crack dawn to make it to the noon check-in thing. Do with that what you like. I don't know. So not enough about hotels. Let's talk about your budget. Well, what kind of budget do you want to have in it? So if your situation's like me, where you're constantly working on shit boxes and you have very little money to spare towards expenses like this, start budgeting now. You got time. You got 5 months. Put away whatever you can. If it's $100, $200 a month, there. What I always found, I always average between fuel, hotels, food, and my ticket prices. I usually spend about $2,000, $2,500. Now, reminder, we're in Joe Biden's economy. Just saying. You might want to put a little bit more away. I don't know. So if you hit that ballpark, you're usually pretty good territory. And that is going from with a gold package. Hotels, I figured about $100 a night, roughly. I like to find the ones that have the free breakfast. 50-50 coin toss on those, because you might come up and you get a Nutri-Grain bar for your breakfast and a cup of orange juice. That usually doesn't cut it. So some of them have been freaking amazing. And you're like, holy crap, you get a ticket and you got to check in and then, fine dining, pinkies out kind of stuff. And other ones, the Nutri-Grain bar. So, like I said, it's 50-50 on those. I can't tell you what to do on there. But the 50% that sucked, we ended up going to a Waffle House and got breakfast. So, just keep that in mind. Also, I like to just stop at Walmart and stock up on my groceries. Get a case of water or two. Get the ice from the hotel or gas station. Big cooler, have it all in there. We got sandwich stuff. Sandwiches are cheap or easy. Bag of chips, whatever. You can eat on the fly. You can stop wherever. That's what I like doing, because finding these roadside scenic waterfalls or rest stops, gas stations, you got your food, you got your stuff there. It's kind of like taking you back to the old times. Now, some of you might be driving a Fiero, and you got this much trunk space, so you can't fit a big cooler in there. So if you're driving a Fiero and whatever, one of those little cars or something where you don't have trunk space, you might want to plan on stopping at restaurants. You stop at restaurants, what are you going to eat? Are you going to go to McDonald's, or are you going to go to Chick-fil-A, or are you going to go to Fogo de Chao? I don't know what your plans is, what your budgets are. You got to figure that out. But take that in consideration when you're making your budget. I see a lot of pets are allowed. Me personally, I enjoy animals. I wouldn't put my dog or cat through Power Tour. You're walking on hot asphalt. It's hot. It's hot on their pads. It burns them. You don't want to put booties on them, because then they're just, that's not, I don't know. So it's highly frowned upon to bring your animals. And I checked the website for Hotrodpowertour or the venue we're at, if they're allowed. But personally, me, I'm not bringing my dog. I also don't have a purse dog that's going to have a stroller pulling behind that has air conditioning in it. I have pit bull, so I'm not bringing it. Now, packing. If you're going to pack your stuff up, know your vehicle. Know your vehicle. How much room you got? Is it a 2018 Corvette where you're not going to probably have any breakdowns? Is it a 1974 GMC? You might need a fuel pump. pack accordingly. I had to stop 20, 30 miles out of the way, 2021, pick up a starter for this thing, because the starter on this was starting to get heat soaked, and I just thought it was getting worn out because I just bought this thing. Now it was just heat soaked, but I went out of the way and I bought a starter. Whew. Thankfully they had one. If I take this again, I'm gonna have my starter. I'm gonna have my fuel pump because I got a spare fuel pump for it. What else am I gonna bring? Stuff that you hadn't replaced. Luckily I brought brake lines with this. We blew a brake line out of Chicago on the way home. Yep, blew a brake line. So, tools too. Bring your toolkit. Don't bring your whole toolbox unless you want to. Drag and drive, I don't know. I just bring a little toolkit. Harbor Freight, they got them for like 130 bucks. They got some cheaper. They got more expensive ones. They're compact, they fit, they're nice and neat. Bring what tools you need. I can't tell you what tools you're going to specifically need for whatever project you're working on. I just know that I don't even know what tools and projects and stuff that I'm going to end up bringing, because it never fails. Never fails. Every time on Power Tour, I've packed what I think is going to end up going wrong. It's the thing I didn't think about that goes wrong. Case in point, the Impala. 2022, we were outside of Nashville, and the blower motor went out. So we stopped at O'Reilly's, and I changed out the blower motor in that thing because it was hot and wanted the air conditioners working. Speaking of air conditioners, also 2022 on the way down, the air conditioner compressor wasn't really kicking out the coldness as it was. Turns out it was just that orifice tube, which I didn't realize until last summer when we did it before we took a Hot Rod Power Tour 2023. Speaking of 2023 Hot Rod Power Tour, when we took the Impala, the water temp sensor thing decided to not really work on my gauge. It was doing this number because I had changed it out, and I think I was in there dinking around with something, and something up with the wire, stretched it out. I don't know. I still haven't fixed it. But what happened was we were driving and I lost all the coolant because I wasn't paying attention to the gauge because it was doing this all the time, pegged to hot. And I was like, you know what, whatever. I don't care. I've never had an overheating problem with this car. Well, we're outside the highway. And some kind of coolant leak somewhere. I had an overheating problem with that car. Turns out the heater core went out. Leaked out all the coolant. Why my low coolant light didn't come on in the reservoir, I don't know. But it didn't. So last year was a disaster for that. Turns out the water pump ended up getting worked out, or sounded like marbles after we got it back together. Anyways, we changed the water pump out. Should have got an electric one, I know. But I couldn't. You know why? Because they were like 3 months out ordering from Summit, and Power Tour was now. So it was a now problem versus then. And I still haven't ordered an electric water pump from that because I just did a water pump on it here 6 months ago, 9 months ago, whatever. And I'm not doing it again. Anyways, that's what I mean. I didn't pack a water pump. Didn't pack a heater core. And that's what happened then. So I don't know what you're going to end up running into. All sorts of stuff. You know your car better than I do. Judgment call, really. I will say, if you own a GM vehicle or a Ford vehicle or something that's very common, and there's a lot of parts stores at all these stops or in the vicinity of Power Tour, you got a pretty good chance of being able to get parts that you need. Alternator starters, water pumps, whatever. If you drive something like a Gremlin, I don't know what to tell you. Tow another Gremlin with it for parts car. You do what you got to do. I don't know. So, getting back to packing, that's some stuff you need to think about while you're packing. So, as I had said, I have coolers and I have all my tools now and all my parts. I have a lot of room in a Suburban. I don't have as much room in an Impala. However, I don't really think I need as many parts in the Impala as I do for the Suburban. So I got a smaller cooler that we've been using for the Impala. I got a big honking one that we're going to use in Burt if we take Burt. And I just, the room is there. You got your clothes, you got to pack, you got all this. So one thing I see a lot of is, well, you got to bring a canopy. No. I mean, if you're the folks that like to just sit at car shows and put a canopy up and had folding chairs, sure. I guess. Me personally, I brought it the first year, didn't use it. Impala's been every other year. Didn't have the room for it, didn't bring it. Would it be cool to set it up in some of the hot sun situations? Yeah. May I do it this year? I don't know. I'm not there yet. Pack canopy if you want or not. I will say folding chairs. Bring folding chairs because those do come in handy if you're not at Power Tour at the hotel the night before, so you can just bag chair, folding chair, whatever, sit there, watch stuff going on. I got a little folding table that I use because, you know, sandwiches. In addition to sandwiches, I got a little portable grill. When I went grocery shopping there earlier, I bought hot dogs, hamburgers, brats. We cook them on the grill at the hotel. We save ourselves some coin. So this is all stuff to consider. So now we got a grill. We got our folding chairs. We got our little table. We got our grill. Yeah, I already said grill, but grill. You know, you got all sorts of options. So you got all these options. I guarantee you, though. Guarantee you. 80% of it you bring with, you won't even use it. You won't even use it. Another thing we pack, blow up chair. No, blow up bed. Blow up bed. Because when we do a hotel, do like a double queen room. And we got, I'm not sharing a bed with Corey. Sorry. Christopher. Sorry. So we got to have sleeping arrangements. So I bring a blow-up bed. Where am I going with all this? It takes up space. It takes up space. It puts weight on your car. Make sure you got the space and your car can handle the weight. Why? Because of this next part we're going to talk about. Here's a lesson for you newcomers. Expect Hot Rod Power Tour to be hot. And when I say hot, I'm talking like Satan's taint hot. Your car has got to be able to handle it. That was one of my worries first year. We got an aluminum radiator. Probably part of my problem on why I can't get heat into this thing to drive it in the winter, because I have an aluminum radiator and the cooling is so amazing. I had 0 issues with this 2021 and it was freaking hot. Hot! Just got the mechanical fan out stock. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing fancy. All I did was put the radiator in. Thermostat in it was a 190. No, it was 195. That's all I did. And I just drove it because that's what I did. The Impala, the first year, it had a stock radiator in it. And it was feeling it by the end. I should have known something was up because I was getting little hints of coolant smell outside, and I did. And when I got it back home, we made it. However, I ended up having to put a radiator in it. So, bought a cold case radiator for that thing. Put it in. If you want to see that, videos in my playlist somewhere. Go check those out. Angus. If Angus goes, Angus has a big aluminum radiator in it and stays cold because when it was getting to be cooler here in October, the 160 thermostat and the radiator wasn't putting out much heat for me. It was a little chilly. But, so how it goes. Make sure your cooling system's up to par, because if not, you're going to have a bad day. Second thing, you got to debate if you're going to be an AC warrior or a non-AC warrior. I've done both. I prefer AC. But if you don't do AC, have a contingent plan. Cold towels, lots of water. Stay hydrated, because you're going to need it. DD Speed Shop, he likes to put little tubey water things in there and on his seats, and then he has like set of cool shirts, cool seats, and he plumbs it to a cooler and fish tank aquarium pump thing and pumps cold water through. He's worked. He's done that the last couple of years and he hasn't had any issues. So, you got that option. You got the cheap swamp coolers you can build on a budget. I've been racking my brain trying to figure out some kind of an AC system on this, because if I were to buy the stock AC stuff for a 1974 GMC Suburban, which is not in production anymore, I'd be better off going with an aftermarket something or other, like a Vintage Air or something like that. However, I don't want to spend $1,500 on Vintage Air for a square body, because I'm cheap. I'd rather build it myself. So, unfortunately, I think if this is our ride this year, we are not going to have air conditioning, but I got some stuff floating in my head. We'll see if that works. So, after you figure out your air conditioning, cooling, what else you got to worry about? Well, how is the overall health of your car? You got a hole in the fuel tank? Needs fixed. How are your tires? Are they good? How about your brakes? What about your wheel bearings? Have you checked that stuff out lately? No. You probably want to do that. Like I said, if you're trying to take a 50-year-old vehicle on a 2,600 mile round trip, you're probably going to break some stuff, and you might find parts, you might not. So, do your preventative maintenance stuff. All that. Fun fact, there is an owner's manual that actually explains when intervals of stuff is supposed to be done, especially on older vehicles. Keep that in mind. Or you just have the internet. So, overall health of your vehicle, make sure it's good to go. That includes your battery, and your charging system, and your belts, and your hoses. All that stuff. Make sure it's good. If it's good, it's good. Don't forget about that little fuel filter. You don't want to be clogged on the side of the road with a fuel filter that's just clogged because you haven't changed it in 12 years and you think it's because you just don't drive it all the time, but you don't want to change it. No. Change that stuff or bring it with you so you got it. How many more times I got to tell you that? I just take what you need. If I see you on the side of the road, I'll help. Another common thing that kind of always comes up every year, it always does come up every single year, is the fact of security and cars getting stolen, this location, that location, wherever. It's a fact of life. If someone really wants your car that bad, they're going to steal it. Hate to tell you that, but they're going to steal it. Take the steps so you can recover it. Put an AirTag in it from Apple. They even work to Google. They give you a little location. They ping stuff. Put a security system on. Locking lug nuts. Locking gas cap. Whatever. Weld up a freaking cage on your catalytic converter so they don't steal it. But if you're watching this, you're probably a hot rodder and you have perfectly good catalytic converters on your vehicle that requires them. So just do that. What I like to do, I like to research the areas that I'm staying at. look around. Not by actually taking a trip down there. Computer. You got Google Maps. You look around the locations. You take the little guy. You hang him. He's like, hey! And you drop him. You drop him on the streets. You go through, look. Chances are, if you got a lot of rundown buildings, windows boarded up, all that kind of stuff, that's probably not a good idea to get a hotel in that area. If it's cool, nice, there's a Waffle House across the street, you can get up there and watch the fight. Yeah, make your call. That gives me a nice warm fuzzy feeling on whether I want to stay at a certain location or not. Like I said, if someone wants your car good enough, or enough, you can do all the preventive maintenance in the world, and they're going to take it. They'll get a flatbed hauler, and they'll just back up to it and repo man it, you know? It is what it is. So, take that consideration for your security purposes. So one last big thing, I will say, if you do have a problem on the side of the road, and you're pulled over to the side, you're going to get 8 to 10 to 500 vehicles stopping to help you. You pull over on the side, yeah. I think we stopped and helped one guy last year, but as we were driving by, all the ones that were, we slowed up, had the window down, and asked if they needed help. That is the hot rod community. That's what it does. So if you're on the side of the road, and you're the main route within a reasonable distance, and there's a bunch of hot rods going by, they're all gearheads. So guess what? They are going to stop and help you out. If you don't want them to stop and help, just wave them by. Give them a thumbs up. They'll keep going. They'll keep going. Additionally, now you're driving through and you're enjoying Power Tour. You get all the little towns and everything else as you're going through. People start like learning about it, and they hear about it, and then they know the dates. You get all the little kids that are lined up outside. Be aware. Not everyone is going to be as up there driving, seeing all this. You're going to get public that's going to be distracted. Like, why are all these vehicles coming through here now? I don't get it. Why is there so many people and kids and everything on the... Drive respectfully. You're going to get people throwing out Hot Wheels to these little kids. They're going to be throwing out candy. They're going to be driving to the other side of the road in these small towns just to make sure that certain kids get stuff. Just be prepared to drive respectfully, carefully, cautiously. We don't want to have an event. That's the last thing that any of us want, is something happens, there's an accident, and the next thing you know, Power Tour says, you know what? We had this event happen. It was our party. It was our event. We ain't doing it next year because we're not taking the liability for that stuff. So keep that stuff in mind when you're cruising around, bombing around. So my final thoughts are, if you've never done Hot Rod Power Tour, go do it. I was scared shitless to do it the first time. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Oh my gosh, I don't know. Did it. It was fine. So do it. Challenge yourself. Challenge your vehicle. Make yourself and your vehicle better. Meet new friends when you're there. Ask people to go with you. There's a lot of people that are like, I've never gone. I want to go. Go ride along with someone that's gone. As long as they got the capacity and they're not running around in a two-seater or something. Bring them. People love it. It's always a great time. Never fails that I have a breakdown. So, to the ones that ride with me that know, be prepared. Anyways, just have fun out. Make the best of it, because with the way that the world's going with electric vehicles and all that fun stuff, who knows? This might be a dying hobby, and our generations, once it's gone, it's gone. You know, it might not ever come back. So go out there and enjoy it now while you can. I'm going to get off my soapbox because I've been neglecting doing the work that I need to be doing to this thing because it's been cold up here in the UP of Michigan. And I'm just now finally getting back to myself. So thanks everyone for watching. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share it. There's going to be stuff that's floating here now because it's the end of the video. Click on any one of those links. Probably the subscribe somewhere up here, or maybe it's over here. I don't know. Check it out. Leave me a comment. I'll see you on Power Tour. Later.